All right, if you see your lecture notes there, you would see that we are now on the topic of neoclassical economics, and then we've just finished the Russian assumption. Now we're going to look at neoclassical economics in the real world. So what's the practical or real world application of the neoclassical school of macroeconomics? So neoclassical economic theory is important because of how it affects both markets and economic policy. The principle of neoclassical economics can be used by companies to set prices and grow their business. A business that understands neoclassical economics, for example, one just look at the cost of making a product when setting a price. It will also consider what competitors are charging, what customers are willing to pay, and how to use branding to increase what customers are willing to pay. So when you talk about this type of business tools, mainly in the big brands like Nike and big brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, they won't get anybody else to advertise their products. They will get very famous celebrities, movie stars, models, athletes, because of the fact that they want to use marketing, because of the fact that they know that if the product can give utility, satisfaction to a very high-profile figure who people adore all over the world and people try to model their lives after. If you see, that happens, for instance, a football or soccer player wearing a certain particular type of Nike shoe, and all the soccer-loving teenagers and men and women in the world would try to emulate the type of shoes and try to go and buy the type of shoes. As a result, price doesn't become a factor. You can put it at thousands of dollars, people will still buy it because people will feel that it gives utility to them because someone they adore and someone they want to model their life after basically uses this type of products. So businesses are smart. That's why Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and then Nike as well, they will always use advertising and branding to try and basically use that to set prices and grow their business. Because when they do that, they don't only look at the cost of a product. So if it takes me 300 kina to make a shoe, I will try and sell it at 400 and 500 kina. All right? But with this type of neoclassical concepts, it takes me 300 kina to make a Louis Vuitton shoe. I'll sell it for 3,000 kina because I know that the average person doesn't come into Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton attracts people with money, basically millionaires and billionaires. So to them, they won't mind paying an extra 2,000 or 3,000 kina dollars because of the fact that they know that there's utility. It gives them satisfaction. And then someone gets a picture of them and paparazzi puts it on the magazines all around the world and say that, Jennifer Lopez goes in and buy this cool Louis Vuitton sneakers or Nike Zoom shoes, running shoes, and all these things. So it's about basically trying to look at other factors in setting a price for a particular good. All right. So this type of sort of thinking in the neoclassical way, this type of thinking without actually doing the numbers, just creating wealth for something that's not valued at that level. This type of thinking was evident or led up to the 2008 financial crisis. All right, so I've encouraged you to watch the movie, The Big Short, BIGSHORT, and then you try and watch that movie to give you the breakdown on what happened in, I think, Sean Penn and then Matthew McConaughey stars in the movie as well. So it gives you an example of how this type of thinking led to the 2008 financial crisis. So modern economists believe that synthetic financial instruments had no price ceiling because investors in them perceive the housing market as limited in its potential to growth. So just the way that we talk about utility and trying to pay more for something that does not cost that much, but because of the fact that there's utility or personal satisfaction to a customer, this way of thinking or method of paying for goods was transcribed into what you call the housing market in the US. So in the housing market, people were led to believe that there's no limit in the potential for growth. They were sort of saying that, in the many investors and banks continue to lend money to grow the market for subprime mortgages. So what happens is mortgages are classified as A, B, and C. in their mortgages. So what people were doing is they were getting B and C mortgages and packaging them together and trying to make them look like the A-class mortgages. As a result, they were giving mortgages to people who could not afford it. So one person basically took out a mortgage under the dog's name. People with minimum pay 2-3 mortgages. As a result, the banks continued to grow the market for subprime mortgages, assuming that continued growth in the market would prevent investment instruments that include these mortgages from losing value. Unfortunately, they created a bubble, and when people could not repay the mortgages at a massive level, and the bubble burst open, and Lehman Brothers basically went into bankruptcy, and this led to the financial crisis of 2008 financial crisis. All right, then I'll give you the critics of neoclassical economics school. They talk about some criticisms there for the neoclassical school, and then that is where we finish off our lectures. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.